So I did learn a little bit while I was putting these on here. It was a little bit of a challenge at first, and I know that if you have the, is it We Are Memory Keepers? Or I know Heidi's, there's one that's branded for Heidi Swap. That's a machine that does like spiral bound. It will hold the coils for you, while you kind of get the pages on there. So I did struggle a little bit with that because, the Bind It All doesn't have that. I think I'm okay with that though, because once I got into the hang of it and I got like the motion down, it wasn't too bad. It didn't take me as long as I thought it was going to take me. I thought it was going to take me like an hour or two to get all of them on there, and it wasn't that bad. You also probably saw me trimming down papers as well on the side or on the bottom or the top, because there's a couple places where if I've got a page like this one that doesn't go across all the rings, then if the space in between this needs to be shorter so that it doesn't rub up against this coil here and that it turns really easily. So I did have to chop off a couple places. So I think next time, instead of just kind of cutting everything at once, which is what I did, I just kind of went through with my machine and cut them all. And it was the first time I used it in that regard as well. So there's probably a few things I could learn from that as far as lining up all the holes correctly. But I did have to chop off, not these, but I did have to chop off a couple of pieces, the bottoms of them so that they would, or the tops of them so that they would fit correctly. I think next time when I do it, I'll be more intentional, and for those smaller pieces, I'll probably mark where I want those holes to go. And then on the larger pieces that I had, these lined papers and the typo graph paper, and then I had some lined paper as well in here, some other lined paper, the cream colored. Let me see if I can find it. This one. They had more holes than there were coils, so I didn't really count. Whenever I was cutting, I just made sure that I punched from the top all the way to the bottom, basically. And so I ended up chopping off some of the bottoms of those, which I actually didn't mind, because on a lot of the typo pages, it chopped off the typo logo. On these lined pages, it really didn't matter which side got chopped off, because they were pretty much the same. So, for those, it's fine, and they turned out really fine. And I did chop everything, I did line up everything with this page originally, and I chopped everything down with my paper trimmer, because I knew that for some of these, like these that hang over, I knew in my postcards and things like that, that they would hang over a little bit further. I wanted to make sure there was room for that, like this. And on the original notebook, or the original planner, all the pages had tabs. So, for example, they had these extra tabs that hung off the side, and this first page had no tabs, so it didn't really account for that. So what this means is that because of how I measured these and cut them down, I probably could have gotten wider pages and had more real estate on my page and all that, but now I can have it so that things will hang over a little bit and I don't have to worry about it. And if I want to, I can actually add tabs to these pages here, and they'll still fit when it's open, but even more importantly, when it's closed, because there is still quite a bit of space. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Quite a bit of space, about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch worth of space to add tabs here on the side, and they still won't go past the cover, which is going to be really nice. Alright, so for the cover, what I'm probably going to do is use these Willow Lane thickers that I've had. Willow Lane is my favorite Maggie Holmes collection, and I've had these kind of hanging around in my stash for a little bit. And then I also have these thickers. I know that these probably accompany some Maggie Holmes collection as well. But to be honest, I cannot remember which one it is. So I really want to keep this simple. My whole goal really is just to cover up the 2020. That's it. And it's teeny tiny. So I think what I'm going to do is use one of these like little cameo type stickers. And then one of these floral wreaths to kind of go around that. That will match the theme here. All right, so that's what I'm going to do next. Also not too bad. Now it does have this branding here, but I am really not going to worry about that too much. It doesn't bother me, and you know, they did make the original product, so it's no different than if you were to buy a planner or a notebook that's also been branded. All right, so I love cats, so we're probably gonna go with this little cat here. And these have been sitting in my stash for a bit, so they are struggling to come away from the backing. And that is going to fit over that 2020 perfectly. Okay, now I think I'm gonna use this one here like this. I like this one as well, but it looks like these are individual pieces, and ain't nobody got time for that. These have been on here a bit and they're not having it. They do not want to be used. This is what happens when you hoard, guys. When you hoard stuff, it doesn't actually behave the way it's supposed to. It kind of almost like, you know, starts to not disintegrate, but it just degrade, I guess, over time. And so this is why you should not hoard. No, no, no. All right, did I line that up straight? Of course I didn't. So we're gonna take this off and I'm gonna stand up to actually get a nice overhead shot and see what you guys see. Before I put that down, let's just use our handy dandy ruler. Like, let's actually try for once to get this right instead of just winging it, which is my typical MO here. Okay. There we go. That looks pretty spot on. You know what? I think I'm also gonna do, let's take this little puffy heart, stick it right there. Yep. Yep. I like that a lot. Okay. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps it up. Let me know if this is something that you enjoyed. If you did, please comment below or give me a thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. But also let me know in the comments if this is something that you're interested in seeing more of, you know, creating journals or planners on a budget, or how to repurpose things that you find maybe at like a secondhand shop or that you find on clearance. Something like a planner like this that normally you would just kind of toss. Let me know if you're interested in that, because I think I'd like to do more videos, you know, with that theme. I also plan to do some videos coming up about how not to hoard. You know, I kind of had a light bulb moment here while I was doing this video and using up my hoarded supplies. So let me know if you're interested in that kind of series as well, how not to hoard your supplies so that you can still enjoy them without them sitting in their packages forever. All right, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.